Well, hello, my fellow Americans, and may there be peace unto you and peace unto the world. Friends, the government shutdown signals the return of civil war and civil unrest in our nation. It also signals our inability to have a common purpose, common goal among one another. No doubt the Constitution is the common denominator and the adhesive of our nation. Yet we are finding ourselves confused, undecided, and speculative about our leaders' ability to manage the affairs of our nation. The power to persuade is missing among our president and the congressional leaders. Deordination is the rule of the day, with egos flying in the face of all Americans, generating a disorder of the well-being of the American citizen. Though blame is placed on one or the other, both are to blame for the impasse affecting the economic and moral fiber of the nation. Both parties have made the choice of inertia and the siding of urban warfare at the expense of the country. The expressions of discontent is spreading across the nation, with a deepening concern over what the real objectives are of the president and the congressional leaders. Right now, both parties plainly have spread contempt of the American citizen, which is a result of the failure to provide confidence in their actions. Obamacare has citizens wondering if it is worthwhile in the long run, and as of today, with the government shutdown, openly reveals the comfort and leisure of Americans is not at the forefront of any of the leaders' thought today. Seeing 1 million people are out of work, out of a paycheck, or on indefinite furlough. Just what is the president doing? What is the congressional leaders doing? Battling over a program at the expense of the American public? Dividing a nation over a civil program? Proclaiming that what is good for their own interests is good for the country? This is nothing more than a gesture of piety and self-indulgence. I do think what is taught today by so many people is the fact that everything presented by government officials is of a negative nature. There is no actuant the positive. It is bickering, arguing, backbiting, and rhetoric, instead of effective performance, as I have said elsewhere. We are steadily marching backwards, and we keep moving in that direction. When charity vanishes among our leaders, it is because the love of neighbor is in decline in the capital. What we have today is not the unity of a nation, but we have a nation that is being torn apart by our leaders. You can be sure it is not a matter of civil unrest, civil determination, civil war, but what it is a gesture of personal vindictiveness among the government powers. What we have today are men who humorously can allocate trillions of dollars to foreign wars, but we cannot allocate any substantial amount of money to the public need and rebuilding of our country. The issue of Obamacare has its fallbacks, as we have already stated, but in all honesty, this issue is not nearly as important as national priorities of unemployment, education, and the capacity to stir the minds and hearts of men to the renewal of national purpose. There is little to be gained by denouncing one another, as we have seen this past week. Yet certainly our leaders, both President and Congress, have trifled with the national power to meet the national needs, both inarticulate in persuasive power to progress the country forward. America generally wants family, home, career, but for the past years have been buried in the politics of fatigue every single day through the news media and other activities. We are buried in the politics of fatigue, and it is as if the men and women of power are engaged in shameless banter while the country falls behind in all categories of personal values needed for the growing weariness of the national indecision we all face. This is a new civil war in America. Until we have leaders who can personally persuade and unite the country to national goals and purpose, we shall see a decay of our society, which is a far greater destruction awaiting us than as if the atom bomb was dropped in a moment's time. You may say this is not fair in what I am presenting. No, it may not be fair, but it is accurate. And what I have spoken is predictable results unless the mood of the country changes and the leaders of this country put American citizens at the forefront of their activities. Let history record that this is the United States of America on October 6, 2013. This is the American Journal. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.